Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, does your age matter when you're learning something new? And as you know, that was Shawn Raiford, the jazz artist. He stars tonight. And unfortunately, he can't make it with us because he's doing some investment stuff. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But he's the reason why I started this, because does age matter, ladies and gentlemen, with learning something new, with motivation, with doing something? Let me know. With being an entrepreneur, we're going to talk about that tonight on the Wednesday Night Live. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had to do a little bit different tonight. You know, we had to spin it out a little bit differently. So hopefully you enjoyed that Shawn Raiford tune, In the Moment. It's on his album, Man with a Horn. And by the way, I might as well just say it right now. Down below in the description, I have two links. One, where you can actually go buy Shawn Raiford's album from his website, ShawnRaifordSax.com. And you'll have a special limited edition album package, because I believe he signs it and he throws in some other swag, some other gear with it. Then on Amazon, if you want to buy singles such as that In the Moment track right there that was listening in the opening, then you can go to Amazon to buy tracks singly. All right, now let me give you the good and the bad news. The good news is Shawn Raiford's fine. He's okay. Unfortunately, he cannot make it here tonight because he was going to be the special guest. As it turns out, he's overdoing some investments, and I'm going to give you guys a hint. He had to fly into Texas. He's going up to Oklahoma. Some of you may know what's in Oklahoma going on right now, and I'll give you the hint. 5 states approved this ingredient, and he's going over because he's invested in one of these farms, in one of these plantations in Oklahoma. So that's why he could not make it, because he just flew into Texas and he couldn't make it on the live stream tonight. So anyhow, I want to welcome everybody here. First off, please smash the like button. You know why? Because we need to tell the YouTube algorithm gods that we're in the house. All right, let's see who's here. Wilson Koo's in the house. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. Members only can be in the chat room, but everybody around the world can watch. So please share the videos and great tunes. Thank you so much for mentioning that. I appreciate it. Curtis Davis, Mr. Financial, is in the house. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream again with the members only chat. And that means members with the icons. They're the ones that can be in the chat room tonight. Everybody else around the world can only watch. And if you want to be in the chat room, ask questions, and join us in the chat room, that means you have to become a member of the channel. All right, here we go. Curtis Davis, DJ E, bringing in slow jazz jams. That's right. I had to bring it in tonight. The Shawn Raiford, courtesy of ShawnRaifordSax.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it tonight. Let me know what you think. Does your age matter when you're learning something new? And the reason why I bring up Shawn Raiford is because it's very interesting. I wanted to bring this up with him directly, but I'm going to tell you shortly after I welcome Victor Marrero in the house with the icon next to his name, which means it's a Wednesday night chat only. Hello all, and he's got his signature tagline, "Let's do this." Thank you so much for being here, Victor Marrero. I appreciate it. By the way, I just sent you some info in an email about loan programs. Thank you so much, Wilson Koo. I was looking forward to that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to talk about this. Let me give you something. Most people who play instruments oftentimes started when they're younger, like let's say 5 years old, 10 years old, 20, 25, something of that nature. But in the instance of Shawn Raiford, who was not in artists at those age. He wasn't even thinking about it at the age of around 34 or 35. Because of a life-changing event with family members, he said, you know what? I want to be a saxophone player. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He was 34 or 35 that he decided to play the saxophone. Now, keep in mind, since he wasn't already in the industry making music, playing, and this and that and the other, that means he's starting from scratch. That means he doesn't get out there and know people that can help him make music that well and easily. So his journey starts around 34, 35 years old. And now, after he's over 50 years old, he makes his first album. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. 15, 16, 17, 18 years later, a man makes his first album, which is Man with a Horn. Exactly what this is about tonight. So what age is old enough, or what age is too old? I don't think there is. You know why? Because I think at any time that you want to do something with your life, that serves a purpose. So therefore, why not do it? Doesn't matter about the age. The same rules apply. If you're 25, you want to do something, then do it. If you're 35, if you're 45, if you're 55, if you're 65, if you're 75, if you're 85, there is no design on life, on a person's life, right? So I just wanted to bring that up, and that is part of why I wanted him to be on tonight and talk about this age matter, because as I said, starting at 35, making your first album almost 20 years later is pretty awesome. And he's going to come out with the second album, which is probably going to be out next year. So he's going to make 2 albums after around 20 years of picking up a saxophone. That's incredible to me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. We have Moses Tillman in the house with the icon next to his name, of course. Good evening, SSN fam. Let's get it is his tagline. Welcome to the Wednesday night members only chat live stream. I thank you for being here once again. Founder of KFC, the Colonel, was 50. Exactly, Curtis Davis. That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. Exactly. You just never know. You can start anytime you want. Why put an age on it? There is no age limit. That's how it is. Think about other things, such as, I'm trying to think of the investor. There was a lady, 74 years old, about 8 years ago, 74 years old, invested in Apple. All right. She invested like $30,000, I believe was the number. That is before Apple split twice now. Just off of that investment at 74 years old, she's now 82 years old. That investment has turned into millions of dollars. She took a risk at 74, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. And that was an investment risk. $30,000 at 74 years old. And she said, I'm going to take this risk. I'm going to make it happen. And it turns into millions. This is what I'm talking about. You cannot let your age limit you. All right. Age don't matter as long as you have your will and perseverance for your dreams. Exactly. Wilson Koo, I agree with you 110%. Moses Stillman sent you a reply. Right on. Yeah, I hopefully he has that email address. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So let me know what you guys think about this. Age is just a number. Does age really matter? Does age hold you back? Let's keep things in perspective. Age keeps you back when it has to do with athletic ability. Right? Because we all know you decline in athletic ability as you get older. You have prime time, and then you have after prime time when it comes to sports, for instance. Not all sports, but a lot of sports, you have to be in a certain age bracket. But that doesn't mean you have to stop playing, right? There's other outlets. There's other places you can still play. Like I'll use basketball, for instance. Some guys are not in the NBA, but they're in that Big Three by Ice Cube. They look like they can play in the NBA to me, but they don't have contracts, but they're still playing even though they're 38, 39, 40, 45 years old and looking good doing it. All right. So these are the kind of things that we're talking about. Hey, boss, Vanessa Comagate, welcome to the Wednesday night live members only chat live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, boss and SSN fam, you speak in my language. Right on. I'm glad to hear that. Exactly. Curtis Davis, yes, I hope people are taking a risk on NVIDIA after split. Exactly. I was getting ready to bring that up later on tonight. Mr. Financial Curtis Davis brought it up first. NVIDIA, it split. It went down to 185. Today, it went to 192. I want to know what it's going to be on by Friday, which is the buy point for me, or tomorrow or Monday. But either way, you have to get yourself some NVIDIA right now, ladies and gentlemen, and then see where it goes. But usually I wait that 48 to 72 hours after it splits. So on Friday or Monday, I'm probably going to buy in, whether it goes to 200 or whether it drops back to 185 or 180. Either way, that is the buy point as far as I'm concerned. All right. So everybody should be getting in on the chip shortage, NVIDIA, military contract deals and everything. Curtis D sent you some info. Right on. Look at Tyson and Sugar Ray. They are still looking good in 50 and 60. Exactly, Wilson Koo. And they're still not stopping. They're still out there doing promotions. Like Tyson just did that promotion with the guy from Panama City. I can't remember his name. How could I forget? I got a story for that too. When they did that, what was it, over 50 boxing match or something? That was something that they were trying to do. Roy Jones Jr. That's it right there. Roy Jones Jr. and Tyson did that boxing match. So that was pretty good, where they're able to extend their playing in their age bracket and still making money. Millions. You got to love it, ladies and gentlemen. Where there's a will, there's a way. Because normally the boxing commissions would not allow or sanction older boxers, because of they're usually fighting against younger guys. But in this case, these guys were within a certain range. So they said, okay, we're going to allow it. So that was very fascinating. All right. And that was Roy Jones Jr. All right. So I'll give you guys a short story. You know, I have a few stories all the time. So now we're in Vegas, right? Oh, and by the way, in case you guys missed that video that I did with Will, where we talked about some not multifamily, but we talked about commercial property. We talked about hotels and motels that people can buy and how you can buy it in the real estate deal. This right here, Will was with me in this particular case. So whenever I have Will back on, he can tell you the story about when we go down. So one of his favorite boxers is Roy Jones Jr. So that's why we're at the Oscar De La Hoya match. So we're at the MGM, and at the MGM, a lot of people have been there. You know how they have the mall in the MGM. With some of the stores are high end. So before the boxing match, probably about an hour before. So we're in the mall area, and Will says, I got to go find a restroom in the mall. So then I said, oh, that's cool, man. I'm going to be in this men's store over here. They have some badass stuff in here. So I'm going to go check it out. And he's like, all right, so I'll see you later. So it's very crowded in there, except in this particular men's store at the MGM mall. It's like there's nobody in there. So I'm in there by myself, shopping around in the MGM, in this men's store. And all of a sudden, coming around the corner in the men's store, I guess he was in the clothing, the changing room. All of a sudden comes out Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. does not even have an entourage. He's there with himself and one other person. That's it. So he's not even dressed in a tuxedo. He's just ordinary citizen dressed in regular old shirt, jeans, and whatever. So he sees me. He's like, what's up, big boy? And I'm like, what's up, man? And I'm like, hold on. Can you hang out for a minute? Because my boy Will said he got to go to the restroom and you're his favorite boxer. He's like, all right, man, I'll hang on for about a couple minutes, but I got to go get my seat because I'm sitting down in front or something, he said. I was like, oh, man, this would be awesome. And nobody is still coming in the store. And he just said, I'll wait. So he waited for like 2-3 minutes. Will did not come into the store. So now I rock out to the hallway and I'm looking down, trying to figure out where the restrooms are. I don't see where the restrooms are, but finally I ask somebody and they go, oh, they're down there. So I'm looking, I don't see Will coming. I walk back in the men's store and I go, Roy, looks like my boy Will, he's not coming, so you're not going to be able to meet him. He's not going to be able to meet you, so you might as well go on about do your thing. He walks out the store to the left, and he just went to the left. Will comes from the left, finally walks in the store, and I was like, did you see your favorite boxer, Roy Jones Jr.? He's like, no. I said, you just walked right by him. He took a left out the place right there. He runs out, can't find him. Anyhow, That's the story. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you're at the same place at the right time. That's how it goes. But anyhow, that is the story with the Roy Jones Jr. situation. All right, there's a woman named Ernestine Shepherd. She's a champion, 84-year-old bodybuilder. Yes, I do know who you're talking about. Exactly right. She's been putting in work. And she didn't start, and I believe until her 60s, I think it was. And she is, you can't tell if you just took away her face and just started from her shoulders down, you would not be able to tell her age. The woman is packed. It's incredible. And allegedly, she's supposedly all natural as well. So yeah, I know about her. Hello, everyone. Silverman Fox is in the house. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream, and it happens to be members only chat. Not everybody can chat tonight, but everybody in the world can watch and learn, hopefully, because you never know when gems are going to be dropped. So please have your pen, pad, and pencils ready, because Mr. Financial Curtis Davis already dropped one gem. NVIDIA, N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, D as in David, A. It just split earlier this week, and it dropped from the 800 range down to 185. So that was like a 4-to-1 split, something like that, maybe 5-to-1. Either way, that's what happened. So you have a choice now where do you want to get in now, or do you want to wait a few days? Do you want to wait a month, 3 weeks, and see where it goes? But I wouldn't wait too long, because that's stock, in my opinion, is the one that everyone should have in their portfolio. All right. So those are the things. Hello, everyone, says Silverman Fox. Thank you so much once again for being here on the Wednesday night live stream. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think. Wilson Koo already said age is nothing but a number. I agree with that. Vanessa Comagate mentioned the 84-year-old bodybuilding woman, Miss Shepherd, who's putting in the work and still right now putting in the work. Not only is she putting in the work for bodybuilding, but now you can add fashion model to her name. You can add entrepreneur to her name, because with that notoriety, she gets promotional deals. She's sponsored, amazing, right? Just think about it, ladies and gentlemen. You can do anything you want without age restrictions. You just have to think about putting it down, making it happen, putting steps in place to make it happen. That's all you have to do, right? It's pretty simple there. All right, we'll keep it going. As you guys know, we can talk about anything. I just wanted to start it out with that. And the reason why I started out with that Shawn Raiford track, once again, I should point out, after this video is over, it's going to have a copyright strike. So the people who were able to see it during the live stream, that was a special treat. It's in the moment. People aren't going to know what I'm talking about. But I will say again, in case you watch this after the live stream is ended and it's a replay, there's links down below in the description. So you can go see at Amazon the singles, or you can go to his website and buy the actual whole album. But you can listen, to samples for 15 seconds or 20 seconds, however long, for each song. And there you go. That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. And I should add, once I get a copyright strike, it'll tell me to either remove the video or let it ride. So what's going to happen is I'm going to remove that intro, and then it'll start with the countdown like normal. But everybody here at the live stream, I hope you enjoyed that little jazz tracks by the sax man, Shawn Raiford. And he'll be here next week. All right? That's what he says. But you know how these artists are, man. They always got something going on. So you just never know for sure. But he told me he'll do it next week. All right. Yes, I hope people are taking risks. That's what we talked about already. And then we talked about Miss Shepherd. All right. Let's go. Wilson Koo, yeah, I got your email. I pass on that deal, but I'm keep looking. All right. Age is not a barrier. Your only barrier is yourself. I agree with that 100%. It's you versus you. That's what I used to always say. Physical strength plus mental stability equals less stress. Can't build wealth otherwise. There you go. Once again, Victor Marrero with words of wisdom in the house. Exactly. She started in her late 50s. She is a vegan entrepreneur. Exactly, Vanessa Comagate. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was her 60s, but I'll take the late 50s. Either way, it's still the woman putting in 30 years plus doing her thing, and now she's a celebrity and, like you said, entrepreneur, vegan entrepreneur at that. So, yeah, all natural and everything. It's incredible. Mind over matter, the more powerful, more than anything. Exactly, Curtis Davis. As long as you have your mind, as long as you have your health, now you have wealth. That's all that matters, because nobody can stop you at that point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to talk about tonight besides the age over numbers? Of course, we have to keep talking. The stock market finally, after a week, started going up. That was a pleasant surprise. About time. No more FUD for the last week. So they just let it roll out. They probably did some repo, added some money into it. You know how it goes. I'm not mad at them. So we're getting back to levels that were like over a week ago. It's a little bit under, but we're still there. The crypto market, you know how this all works. Notice that they all go hand in hand. Crypto, Bitcoin dropped below 30. Now it's back over 30. So some people could have bought on the dip. You know how we talk around here, buy on the dip or buy over time. It still helps you out. So last week you would have bought at one of the lower levels. Today you would have bought at a little higher levels. But either way, your dollar cost average would fall into a certain category. So you still would be ahead. Now, last week, or was it Monday, where I made a video where I was saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to take me some profits on my 100%, 200%, 300% or more. I was like, because if it goes up another 200 or 300%, that would almost be a miracle. So I was like, why even bother? I'll just take the profits now. That also meant that since I have that duffel bag of cash, I can buy back in at a lower price. It's a win-win scenario. Either way you slice it. All right, never too late. Diesel Mike is in the house with the icon next to his name, of course. Thank you so much for being in the house. I appreciate it. Never too late. Colonel Sanders started KFC at age 65. Not the healthiest food, but still worth mentioning. Exactly, Diesel Mike. I believe Curtis Davis also mentioned his journey as well when it started. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, just like right now, there's some 60-year-old, 65-year-old, 70-year-old, 75-year-old sitting there going, hey, you know what? I think I want to do this. All their friends are sitting around going, why do that? You can't make it. It's not going to work. You're too old for that. Never too old, ladies and gentlemen. Never too late. That's it exactly. Whatever makes you happy, you have to go for your goals and dreams, right? That's how we have to do it around here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so I didn't have anything on tap for tonight other than down below in the description, not only is Shawn Raiford's links, but also, of course, anybody here who's watching who hasn't gotten there or received their free stocks from Robinhood and Webull, please go down below in the description and use the links there and get your free stocks. All right. I didn't add anything else down below. It's just nothing else other than please sign up for the newsletters. The newsletter link is down below at the very bottom under this video in the description. The reason why I say that, you guys know, everybody on live stream, they don't send out notifications to everybody. In fact, it's less than 2,000 of the 12,000 plus subscribers receive notification. Again, tonight, I did not receive a notification. I did receive a notification earlier today, around 3 or 4 hours ago, that said, Stop Struggling Now has a live stream. But the one that's usually used to count down and say it starts in 20 minutes or it starts in 3 minutes or something like that, did not happen. But I at least got one notification today. So that's a good thing. All right. That is a good thing. Age is not the issue. The issue is not knowing at 21 what I know today. I could have been the third man going into space. Exactly. Age and experience is why things change. The older you get, the more experience you have. And then you're sitting there going, why did I do that 20 years ago? Why did I do that 10 years ago? That's what experience counts. And that's why usually with age, you can make things happen a lot easier because you're not going to panic. You understand what your risk tolerances are. You understand what it takes. You're not just going in with brain dead, pie in the sky ideas and expectations. You know what your expectations are going to be usually the older you are. All right. So that's what is an advantage as well. And then some people think that getting old is a bad thing when in fact it's not. Think about it. That just means you have another lifetime to live. That's how I express it. So when I tell you guys, it's a lifetime. When somebody says I was involved in a certain situation, whether it's business, whether it's personal, such as marriage or partnerships or whatever, and you go, well, I was involved for 15 years. I respond with, that's a lifetime, because even if it was 15 years, you have another lifetime to do something. So another 15 years goes by. That's another lifetime. And then another 20 years go by. That's another lifetime. So you actually have different stages in your life that can be treated as, in my opinion, like it's a lifetime, because that's what it is. If you're raising children and you go from 0 to 20, that's a lifetime. After they're 20, 23, 24, that's a whole nother life. But now from that next stage, for the next 10, 15, 20 years, that's another lifetime, right? So you have to think about that. You got to be like happy that you're alive, breathing, and everything's fine. So that's how I look at it. And hopefully some of you look at it as that way as well. All right. So tonight, if you guys want to talk about investing, of course, that's what we always talk about here, how to make money. I also have to say that on, what was that, Monday night when I did the SSN lifestyle, and then all of a sudden we had a PayPal situation go down. I got to explain about that too, because PayPal, because I put in SSN lifestyle, a new company under the PayPal listing, it wouldn't allow for any new signups until I had to verify. Oh man, they sent me a list of stuff. It was insane. They didn't send me anything, but I guess since people clicked on the link, all of a sudden it triggered some other things that I needed to confirm. So it wasn't just enough to have your banks and your LLC and address and photo IDs. They sent me some other stuff and go, okay, you got to do all this other list of something. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I had to get it all together. But anyhow, got it all together. I just switched it to my, I do have SSN Lifestyle for another link, but I was using that specifically for the founders. So since it was new, it might have confused them because I was using the same email. So maybe that's what it was too. But anyhow, it's all set. But I'm not going to run that right now until Friday Night Live. Vanessa Kamagate, preach, brother. Thank you so much for that. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into some other things. Since age is not a number, does that mean we have to stop investing? That's what I want to know. Does that mean you have to stop taking risk? If you're 70-year-old, are you still going to take risk? Or are you going to go off into la la land and sit on your laurels? Let me know, because I really want to know. I have no intention of resting on my laurels at any time. No time. So you guys may hear me when I say, okay, if the United States of America all of a sudden turns into something that's unknown, and I say, hey, I'm just going to go to the island and hang out, Dominican Republic, what would I do? I would still be doing some business in the DR. All right? It does not matter, because it's kind of hard to sit around every day doing nothing. A lot of people get confused as they get older. When you're younger, you sit there and say, well, when you're 20, 25, 30, you're going, man, I wish I was rich where I could just relax and don't have to do anything. Well, I'll tell you what, think about this. A lot of people don't think about certain things. If you're ever at a job, a lot of people have a job and they have a week or 2 or 3 weeks of vacation. Have you ever done an experiment, which a lot of people never do because they're happy to be on vacation? Be on vacation, sit at your house for a week. Stay at home for a week. Just like if you're retired, just like if you're in your head, you're thinking that you're rich and famous and I can just sit around and do nothing, because that's what my goal is. Sit around for a week and see what happens. Sit around and think that you're going to call up your friends at 11 a.m. in the morning or 1 p.m. in the afternoon and talking about, hey, you know what? I think why don't we go down and go do something? Oh, you're going to get this voicemail, or they're going to be talking to you going, hey, man, what are you doing? I'm at work. Right? A lot of people don't understand the dynamics that change when you do have free time. All right? And so I guess I should give another story, right? So I'm coming up with a story. I believe you have to invest differently when you're older. Yeah, you can do whatever you want when you're older. So I don't necessarily think it's different. I just necessarily think that you sit there and you say, hey, Okay, if you're 70 years old, you go, the odds of me living another 30 years is slim. Another 20 years from 70 to 90, that might be possible. 70 to 80, yeah, the odds are pretty good. So your investment horizons and timelines and expectation changes, because once you're at that range, then you start going, well, I'm not going to live another 30, so I'm going to do this type of investment. I'm not going to live another 40, definitely, so I'll do this investment. I'm going to live another 10 for sure, most than likely, so I'm going to do this type of investment. So that's the only difference versus when you're 20, you think you have a lifetime of whatever you want to do. So those are the two different things. All right. So I can't remember the story that I was going to tell you. Oh, I'll get to the story in a second, since I don't have much to talk about tonight other than what we just discussed about age, because I don't want to dwell on it too much, because everybody understands that we have an audience here that is an age. We have prime time audience, what advertisers love, that 25 to 55 prime time viewers, and still baby boomers 55 to 70 is in the mix. All right. So they know that, the advertisers know that. That's why they love the SSN Nation channel. So we're all in that prime time investment grade age bracket. Charlie's in the house with the icon next to her name. Thank you so much for being here on the SSN Nation Wednesday Night Live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much once again. Spend your time wisely. That's it, Curtis Davis. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story just for everybody here who may be 25 and under, who may be 45 and over. It doesn't matter what your age bracket is. This is why I said do your own experiment where you're actually sitting around the house for a week, not going on vacation, but you're acting like you're retired, like your dreams, where you're sitting there going, man, I don't have to do anything. I can just sit at the house and then whatever I want to do. And then after 2 or 3 days go by, you want that human interaction. You're just like, okay, this is all right, but I'm not hanging out with anybody. I'm not going anywhere. Then when I do call up somebody, they're saying they're busy, they're at work. Now I got to wait till they get off at 6 or 7 and say, hey, what do you want to do? Meanwhile, you're hanging out all day, like twiddling your thumbs or doing whatever, gardening or some nonsense that you might like to do. And I'm sitting there like, okay. So again, here I am roughly in my mid-20s. And this conundrum came up on myself. So I'm sitting there at roughly somewhere like 24, maybe 25, somewhere in that range where I can do whatever I want. Okay, let's just put it that way. And I'm sitting in my condo. Now, my condo is cool. I mean, I have waterfalls in my backyard and at a condo. So I'm cool. Everything is like zen where I'm at. I have waterfalls out in my back patio, back porch. I have a little mini lake that's literally like 20 feet away also with fountains. So I have this nice water going on, the zen place. And I'm like loving life, thinking, yeah, I don't have to do nothing. Yeah, after about 5 days, I was getting a little restless. I was like, man, I don't even have to do anything. And so then that's when I'm telling you guys the same thing. I called up my friends and I was like, they were like, oh, man, I just got off work. I don't feel like doing nothing. Then it's like, oh, yeah, now we're going to the club. Then I'm like, okay, after I go to the club on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, wash, rinse, repeat the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, Sunday. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to the club. This is crazy. Going to the club. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to LA, go down to San Diego, go to Florida, go to the islands, do all this stuff. Then it's like, wait, I'm not even bringing anybody with me. So now that's no fun. So as it turns out, you're sitting there where your friends and most people still have a job in that age bracket. So now it's not like you have like 10 friends who are able to just go wherever you want to go with you. So that's when I was like, well, I guess I better get back to work, whatever that is. And so I had to go. I started some other business. It's kind of crazy. All right, let's go. Invest in your children, grandchildren, and community. That's one way to look at it, Diesel Mike. It used to be a village raises a child, right? The community raises a child. I wish America would get back into that, because there's a lot to that when everybody's they have community standards where a person has to be a preferred and upstanding citizen. And that way, you know, I mean, many of you probably know when you did something crazy somewhere else in the part of town or on another street, by the time you got home, your parents already knew that you did some messy stuff and you were about to get punished. You know, the community was like, hold on now, we can't have this crazy nonsense going on. So you already knew what was happening when you got home. Yes, nice jump today. Dow Jones 286, NASDAQ 133, S&P top winner ETFs in my portfolio, VUG, IWY, XLK, 1Q, IUSG, IVW, iShares are doing very well. That's right. You have to give it up to the ETFs. ETFs are designed for the index funds most of the times. Charlie says, Curtis Davis, happy Wednesday. Diesel Mike, I won't reveal my age, but I'm an 80s baby, but I understand why older people with money are always busy. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. Exactly right. I tell you guys and I tell everybody else, I said, name me any millionaire, billionaire that you see sitting around day after day. You don't. They don't. You might think flying to space might be an adventure. They do too. That's why they're not sitting at home. They're sitting there going, well, I'll go to the atmosphere and get weightlessness for a minute or two, and then I'll come back down to earth just for fun. Because they ain't sitting around either. No millionaire sitting around. So that's the thing that's kind of weird, that a lot of people aspires to have this millionaire style, a billionaire style, and then you don't realize when you look around, you don't see billionaires sitting around, hanging out. Sure, they bought yachts. They buy cars, they do all that, but you rarely see them driving them. You rarely see them on the yacht. They just do a photo op. Their publicist is like, okay, you're out on the yacht. Why don't we just show people you're hanging out for a change? But that's it. You don't see these guys out here just hanging out all the time, 300 days out of 365 days a year, even though they could. That's because that's not going to make you happy ultimately in the long run. All right. But people who don't have the money, they don't realize that what they're working for. So sometimes you have to start thinking, what are you working for? And Diesel Mike touched upon it when he was saying community, family, children, grandchildren, you know, that kind of thing. Some people are working for something else that is just an illusion. So you have to think about that sometimes. Vanessa Comagate, happy Wednesday. All right, Curtis Davis dropping some Mr. Financial info. COP up 4%. CLF up 4%. The market is back on fire after one day. After 2 days, let me know what you guys think. I think they're just now getting back. Actually, the indexes, I don't think, got back to their pre-July 12th numbers, but they're awfully close. So it's coming back up. But again, stock markets are roller coasters. You guys have to remember this. That is the essence of how people make money in the stock market. If somebody would have bought on Monday when it still dropped, then you would have been approving and appreciating the uptick. So that 4% today on CLF plus another 1 or 2 yesterday, that's 6% on your money in less than 24, 48 hours, you would be loving life. So this is why we always say when the stock market goes down, you buy more or you make other choices like what I did. I said, you know what? I'm taking my 70%, 100%, 300, 500%. I'm not even going to mess around no more since the roller coaster might continue. So I'll just take this right now. Don't be greedy. The Gino Scimienti way. It's about balance, work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. Exactly. It's always balance. That's what ends up happening. And so therein lies what she just said. Vanessa Comagate just said it, what it is exactly. What it is exactly is it is about balance. That is the whole thing right there. Balance isn't sitting around. That's not going to make it a balance. And that's what people don't understand. There's always has to be some balance. And that balance means there's a yin and a yang. All right. So that's how it is. Cake up 3%, X up 4%. Biden close on infrastructure bill. That's correct. The Jewish people say that we should not say that you're going to retire because it says your higher self. You quit, etc. Exactly, Charlie. Hey, I agree with that. That is exactly right. I didn't know the Jewish people said that, but that is exactly right. What is retirement in reality? I agree with that. That's why we've had discussions before about retirement, where I don't think there should be anything talk of retirement, because you're not going to go home and sit around for 10 years. You're not going to go sit around for 1 year. Trust me. If anybody's ever been able to do that, you know what I'm talking about. You will not sit around, because you're just pretty much dying. You have to move around. You have to go do something. Warren Buffett made his first billion, I believe, at 51. Charlie, that is correct. That is exactly right. Charlie, I agree 100%. That's it. That's exactly right. So everybody has their own way of viewing life, but at the end of the day, most people will do something. No matter the age, no matter the lifestyle, no matter the money they have in the bank, you're going to do something. So you're not just going to sit around and do nothing, even though some people have those dreams. So again, age is just a number in that case. And that just means you're going to do something at 70, 75, 80, 85. If you're still alive at 90, you'll be doing something if you can still walk around. That's just the way it is. MRIN recovered up 24%, and Nutrix up 102%. Approved FDA fibromyalgia treat. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think that's fibromyalgia. Yeah, that's what that is. Fibromyalgia treatment. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't know about the treatment, but if they had a cure, it would be more than 102%. That's for sure. We've never talked about MRIN before, or NUETRIX. I'm glad to hear it. Mr. Financial dropping some more names for you guys to write down and go do your due diligence, because you never know. Neuro equals Nutrix. All right, let's go. Let's go look. Go look here. I'm going to go pull it up on the screen in a second. Let me see what we got. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull this up for you. Let's go look at this neuro. We've never looked at this one before. All right. Let's see. It was pre-IPO'd. So 1 day, 107%. 5 days. Well, it looks like yesterday it was at $4. Wow. So not just, if somebody would have had this yesterday, you'd already have 594% on the money. Interesting. And here we go. Stock more than triples on massive volume. Yeah, if they have treatment for this, this would be a breakthrough. More than double, positive FDA news, FDA. Okay, well, there you go. There we go. NURO. That could be a gem. And especially if that actual treatment does work, that would help out millions and millions of people. That stock would be a lot higher than what it is. So we have to look at that. The older you get, the more defined your fund assets, withdrawal strategy need to be. That is true. Most people don't plan for this, and Uncle Sam eats their lunch with taxes. There you go, Victor Marrero. That's why we have to keep talking about accountants and wills and trust, and how to save on your taxes using your 401k, your IRAs, the self-directed IRAs, and how you start businesses and use depreciation and expenses and things like that to reduce your taxes, because the less taxes you pay, that means more money you can keep for yourself. So very well said there. Eric, is there a certain pattern that you could recommend to become unstuck at a 780 credit score to move into the 800s? Charlie, unfortunately, I don't have that for you. If you're presently at 780, then all you can do is just make sure your debt utilization is 7% or lower, and you can only keep making your payments on time. That's all you can pretty much do. It locks at a ceiling. A lot of people have this issue. There's some people that have been sitting just like you, 780, 790, 795. They can't break the 800, but at this point, if you have a 780, that's just as good as having an 800. It's almost no difference. Still get almost the same products. No difference. But unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you other than, like I said, you have to make sure your debt utilization is less than 7. In fact, probably at 3% across the board. And all you can do is just keep making payments and not trying to get any hard inquiries for a couple years, because that's the only way that's going to have any movement. You've already done great enough at 780. It'll creep 781, 784, 785, but there's really no rhyme or reasons. So again, you're stuck. There's a lot of people that are like, why can't I get an 800? Why can't I? Some people have actually had 800s before, like an 820. Then it drops to, for whatever reason, they overspent or whatever on a card and their debt utilization changed and it went down to 770 or something like that. And then they went right back down to where they started with their debt utilization. And for some reason, they don't get back even into the 800s. So I don't know the upper end of the scale. I don't know how to manipulate that at all because there's no rhyme or reason. In life, you have to take control of financial future. Learn about IRA and other investments. No job will take care of you. That's it. And you guys know how we say it. Nobody's coming to save you. That's pretty much it. You have to take care of yourself. The sooner you realize that, if you're able to realize that at 20, 25, 30, 35, you can make plans so far in advance that you can start going, okay, I know what my tax burden is going to be. And then you can plan out your investments according to that, which is what I'll have to say, which is what a lot of rich people do. They have planned out 30 years before their retirement, 35 years before their retirement. They pretty much already have it out. Now, what they don't have planned is when the tax codes change, right? So there's people in California, for instance, who used to be able to write off their mortgage interest, maybe $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a year due to the cost of the house. Then when the government, like 4 years ago, capped it at $10,000, that took a hit because people now cannot write off that $20,000, $30,000. They can only write off 10. That extra $14,000, $15,000, $20,000 is now income that you might have to pay tax on. So that was big time, right? So you have to understand, you just never know, though, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later, if the tax plan strategy will still be in effect. And that's why you have to always stay abreast and on top of it, because there are subtle little changes, and those subtle little changes can affect you 10, 20, 30 years later. But if you can start planning earlier, the better. That's how you do it. Again, that's when age, again, doesn't matter. It just matters by knowledge. So the more knowledge you can get, the younger you are, the better outcome you're going to have long term. That's how it is. So I want to welcome everybody here at 52 minutes in. Please smash that like button. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do subscribe to the channel, please click that notification bell so you receive all notifications, because YouTube doesn't like to give out notifications from the SSN family. All right. So please do all of that. And once again, down below in the description, get your free stocks from Robinhood and Webull if you have not already. And Shawn Raiford, which I did the intro for, one of his songs, In the Moment, on his album, Man with a Horn. I have links down below for him where you can get a specially signed package, album pack, and some other goodies if you go directly to his website, or you can buy the single and the album at Amazon with no special goodies. And the links also down below in the description. Shawn Raiford's going to be on next week, and we're going to talk about music and business. He's not just an artist. We have business to talk about, of course. The FICO 10 is out. Somebody went to a car dealer. He had 720, clean report. But the new FICO can see if you remove collections in the last year. There we go. That is interesting. So now if you get your credit cleaned, I didn't realize FICO 10 was going to go that deep. So that's why they delayed it. Remember, it was supposed to come out a year ago. But you guys know I made the videos where I said it wasn't coming out in 2020. And here we are late into 2021. And here we are. That is incredible. There was no mention about, oh, yes, they can go back 24 months. So there was mention about that. So I guess that is true. So that is in effect. So I wonder what happened. I wonder if I know he got the car though. I just don't know what the interest rate is. Let's find out what the interest rate is. Did he get a 1.99, 2.99, 3.5? What? Hope let us know, Curtis Davis. That's interesting. My score went from 794 to 804 after doing a refi on my primary home last year. Don't ask me how. I am thinking due to increase of cash flow, maybe. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Victor Marrero. We don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. That's what I'm trying to say. The fact that you refied and then it still jumped 10 points, that's pretty interesting. Because a refi, they normally do check your credit, I believe. They still do the hard inquiry. They still pay off a note and then you get another note, which kind of gives you new credit. But still, I don't see why it would move up. And then it's probably stayed that around that number. But again, I don't know why a person, because I've heard stories where a person has literally have done nothing. They literally have scored 790, 795. They just pay their bills on time like they always have, but their score still stays the same. So maybe they have to do an activity to kind of alter it somehow. I don't know. But maybe that could be it, the cash flow as well. I don't know. Lots of love. He got denied for the sports car Lamborghini. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. And the only reason I don't mean to laugh at that, but he's going to get denied possibly. Because they do, it depends on what Lamborghini he's talking about, and it depends on the cost, it depends on his income. So people have tried this before, having a 720 credit score, go into Lambo. Lambo goes, hey, I need $10,000, $15,000 down. A person says, oh, I have a 720, 740. And they're like, okay, so do you still have my $10,000 or $15,000? You know, kind of thing. And then, of course, depending on what's on your credit report, Lambo is going to go, I'm sorry, that's not going to work. Although the funny part is he could take his 720 and go to a regular car dealership. That's not a Lamborghini dealership and be fine. So I don't know, but that's kind of funny. That is funny. Yeah, a lot of people try to get their credit cleaned up and go buy a Lambo. I don't know why. Again, that makes no sense. Victor, debt to income reduced or improved, maybe for the points. Yeah, that's all we can do. We can guess. That's what my guess was as well. The DTI got changed, reduced, and then it showed. I don't know. It's funny how it records, and that might have been the reason why he got 10 points additional versus having a 794 and just making normal payments, doing nothing. Would it have went up to 804? That's the question. So I don't know. Curtis Davis, maybe he should have used a corporation and been in PG. Yeah, they still would have ran a PG on him, though. They still would have wanted a personal guarantee. And if a 720 is not good enough, it's not going to matter for the corporation. I don't think. But yeah, it would have been better. I have to admit, if you come in with the corporation, plus the fact, let me give you guys there's some other stuff too. I got to get a drink real quick. There's some other things about Lamborghini and Ferrari. All right. There's something also to be said. So let's say you have a 740. All right. And your previous cars were just ordinary, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 vehicles. You go to Lamborghini, you go to Ferrari, you go, hey, my credit score is 740. I make $20,000 a month. I'd like to buy these cars. Ferrari, number one, they'll go, we don't see where you owned a Ferrari before. Yeah, these guys act funny. You haven't owned a Ferrari before, so we're not going to allow you to buy our car. Lamborghini does the same thing. So what people may not notice, when there's guys out here and they alter their vehicle like a Ferrari and they alter it and put on some funky paint jobs and things like that, Ferrari will blacklist you. You won't be able to buy a Ferrari anymore. Lamborghini does the same thing. A lot of high-end car companies do the exact same thing. So just because you have the credit score They look at other things, like what other, like the Ferrari, Lamborghini guys, they'll say, okay, so what's your trade in? So if your trade in, let's just say, is a $40,000-$50,000 vehicle, they might say, okay, we're not going to help. We're not going to mess with you. But if your trade in is like, let's say, a McLaren or a Bentley or one of these other exotics or high end vehicles, you could have the same credit score, the same income. They'll say, okay, because you have a proven track record of already paying for high end vehicles and maintaining them. Because keep in mind, these vehicles also cost $1,000 or more a year or every 6 months to maintain. All right. Even though they cost all this arm and a leg, you have to use, there's a maintenance package, maintenance program with these vehicles. So don't think everything's equal. You don't get to roll in with the 740 at a Chevrolet and they say, hey, we'll get you any car, versus 740 Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren. They're just like, no, you don't show us any exotics or no high-end vehicles in your repertoire on your credit report, so we're going to deny you. They do all kind of crazy stuff. So that's why nothing is what it appears when it comes to exotic cars. With luxury cars, you need to prove with auto credit history you managed a $150K car plus down payment. Exactly, Mr. Financial. That's exactly right. That's what I was just explaining. Some are more stringent than others. And that's why a lot of people lease these. Even if you lease them, they still have these same rules in place. They're like, okay, have you had a high-end car? We don't see a high-end car that you paid for on your credit report. Sorry, denied. So it's like a little club. So these guys, when they're doing their rallies and going around, it's not just because they have the same vehicles. It's because you're almost in a club. So that's what you have to think about. All right. Moses Tillman, Fat Boy Ferrari, that me. Exactly. Makes sense. Yes. Yeah, that's why when you go to any, like, I believe Vanessa's in SoCal. If you're in SoCal, then you know where the Lambo is. Lamborghini used to be, well, they're at, I can't remember where they're at right now. They done moved. What is that? It's, I don't even want to say it's in LA, but they call themselves Lamborghini of LA, I guess, now or something. And they're not in Newport Beach anymore, but they're in like Irvine. It's like Irvine to me. That's what I call it, where they're at. So anyhow, that's why when you walk in a Lamborghini dealership, they don't even, it's not like when you go to a Chevy or Honda or Nissan where they have 5, 6, 7 people out front. And as soon as you get out your car, they're walking up to you. Hey, how can I help you? No, at Lambos, McLarens, and all these high-end places, you roll up, they're just like, okay, the dude's here for a reason. They know how much our cars cost. If they want to come in here and sit down and talk and say, hey, can you show me this? Oh, fine. But they don't really come out rushing out to people when they close their doors. That's not how they operate, because you got to be in the club. Curtis Davis, Costa Mesa, LA, Lamborghini. Oh, is that where it's at? Yeah, I don't know where it is. I call it Irvine because I'm old school LA. And so when I go past the road to Newport, that is what we used to call Irvine. And so now that LA, well, Lamborghini of whatever they call themselves, that's where their spot is. So I always call it Lamborghini of Irvine. That's what I reference it. Or I could still reference them as Lamborghini of Newport Beach, but they're not in Newport Beach. That's where McLaren is now. Yes, my daughter's boyfriend has a Lambo. They also have one in Beverly Hills. Yep, that's correct. Yeah, and that one's a trip too, the way they have that. It doesn't even look like it would be an exotic car place. It's very interesting. Small location. But again, they have their own clientele. That's exactly right. They have their own clientele. So now the perfect point is, so since her daughter's boyfriend has a Lambo, so now he can roll in with the 720. He can roll in with the 720 credit score and has the financial backing for it. He can roll in and he can always get another Lambo. He won't even have a problem because he's already proven to take care of his Lambo. So, and Lambos you have to take care of. There's no way. You just can't drive these things. This is something that people don't show, that you just can't drive around year after year and go 10,000 miles a year on these things. Lambo, Rolls Royce, Bugatti, never have a sale. I like that. That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. These guys don't make enough vehicles to have a sale. If you only make 3,000 vehicles worldwide, or one of 16, or one of 30, or one of 7, yeah, worldwide, one on each continent, worldwide, somebody will spend $750,000 for a Lambo. Somebody will spend $1.5 million for a Lambo when there's only 4 of them in the world, right? So that's why they never have to go on sale. North LA near Malibu has Westlake Lamborghini. Never heard of that one. Never been there. I have a 730 FICO and I drive a Benz. Would they reject me? It depends. If your Benz is like the $100,000 model, probably not. But if it's a like 60 or something like that, they could. But then again, it's not just a simple rejection based on your previous vehicle. It also has to do with your economic status as well. So let's just keep things, it's a give and take. So they'll sit there. You have a Benz and it's nice. It's 90,000, 100,000, whatever. Now that's in their ballpark. Now it depends on the Lambo you want. Is the Lambo 250? Is the Lambo 350? Is it 500? SVJ? I mean, which one is it? So you trying to jump to a $500,000 vehicle? Okay, they might say, I'm sorry, you can't get that one, but we'll give you a Huracan. So there you go. But I would advise anybody looking for a Lambo. In fact, Vanessa Comegate probably has an insider track on this, because she can actually ask her daughter's boyfriend. And if he has a new one in the last, like, let's say a year or two, then he probably still has some coverage for his maintenance. But if it's over his maintenance scheduling, I wonder if he'll be privy to give you how much he has to maintain his car, because things start getting kind of dicey when they're like, oh yeah, that'll be $1,000. That'll be $1,900. It depends on his model, of course, or that'll be $2,500. You know what I'm saying? So a friend of mine had a what do you call them things? SV. It wasn't a J. It was a S. I think it was an S. I think it's either an S or an SV. Went to go in and do an oil change or something. The guy said $2,500, and it was like 4 years old. And I just started laughing. I was like, that's funny. I was like, that's too funny for me. Charlie, that's why. Yep. Not that I want one, just trying to understand the club. Yeah, that's the thing, Vanessa. They have like a little club. Unless, of course, now they'll bypass the club if you roll in and say, I have $400,000 to put down on a $700,000 Lambo, or you have $100,000 to put down on a 350. You follow what I'm saying? Then you're in the club. But if you're trying to do this 20,000 down, 30,000 down, 50,000 down stuff, they might want to see some other stuff. They're like, you're not in the club. You really can't even afford this. It's almost like a snobbish thing, underhanded. There's people with 1 million per month business get denied, even with good income. Exactly. Because the denial is not based on their revenue or their income or their credit score. Like I said, there's also this club thing. In fact, like I said, Ferrari's notorious for that. They're like, you didn't own a Ferrari before, so no, not this time. It's like, yes, Charlie. Yes, it does. I've told people about this before. There's redlining for everything. Just like when people don't even notice how freeways and streets are built in their city, it has to do with it's a track. And you can pretty much tell based on how the freeways and the roads are built, which side of the town is supposed to be lower income and which side of town is supposed to be higher income. So credit bureaus have bias. They know certain zip codes are in wealthy zip codes. So if you have a wealthy zip code and you go apply for something, there's a flag that comes up and says wealthy zip code area, which now means the expectations of your income is now higher. And that also means they know where you live. They know the value of property in your neighborhood, and all of a sudden, okay, you're good to go. It does have something to do with it. A lot of people will deny it and go, oh, no, they don't go by zip code, but they actually do. Yes, it is new. He bought it this year. Okay. Then he has it under warranty. So he doesn't have any, he won't have any maintenance bills for at least 2 years. After 2 years, then, well, and then here's the other thing about them Lambos and all these cars that kills me. This is why I always used to joke with my friends who own these cars. I used to be like, hey, how many miles have you went this year? And they'd be like, oh, I only went 2,500 miles. You know, if I drive any further, the value will go down. And I'd be like, dude, this is crazy. I was like, you do know the average miles per year is like 12,000 miles of driving per year. And so you buy a $200,000-$300,000 car so you can drive it 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 miles a year? Seriously? This is like a joke. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Charlie at Curtis Davis, really? Yeah, it happens. I'm telling you. There's reasons for everything. That's why Bishop T.D. Jake always say, start your own club. Exactly. He knows what time it is. Exactly. Charlie, facts. At Charlie, facts. Exactly. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it. But yeah, this Lambos, Ferraris. In fact, let me pull this up. Let me see if I can pull up anything. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to pull it up right now because this is funny stuff. Here goes an example of what Ferrari does. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. Let me go get this right here. Yeah, this is hilarious stuff. You guys, let me see if it comes up on the screen. Yeah, look at it. You guys can see it right here. Look at this. This is why this is funny. This is funny because this guy, what was his name? Deadman 5 or something. He put a rap on it, and when he put a rap on it, Ferrari said, "You're banned. You can't do that." Deadman 5. There we go. Here you go. This dude right here. Look at what he did to his Ferrari. So they said, "Sorry, you're banned." So Tiger, I didn't think he got banned. Oh, at some point, including a 2012. See, here we go. He got a 2012 Ferrari and a Rolls-Royce Ghost. It looks like he got it repossessed. So now Ferrari says you can't have a Ferrari again from us. See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? You just never know what's going on with these guys, especially Ferrari. They're like notorious for this. Even a race car driver gets banned. It's just funny stuff. Funny stuff. Other blacklists: Nicolas Cage, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Justin Bieber. Yeah, look at that list, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't the only ones getting banned. That's what I'm saying. This is funny. This is funny stuff. All right, I'm all ears to see President Biden's infrastructure plan. That's exactly, we're waiting on it. We are waiting on it. In fact, so it was voted down, ladies and gentlemen. You know why it takes two to tango. Got to have two parties in on it. They have deal when you purchase high-end supercars. Dealers will buy back within 1 year with certain conditions. Exactly. And one of those conditions is the mileage. You can't be riding around at 1,000, putting on 1,000 miles a month or 1,000 miles every 3 weeks like a normal person that drives a car around. You better only be putting in like hundreds of miles. That's what's so funny about this. Sit in a garage queens, pay $300,000-$400,000, $500 for a garage queen. In California, I used to go to Cars and Coffee. There we go. That's it. People treat them like babies, certain feather to polish. Exactly. That's it. Exactly right. I'm not saying there's a lot of people right now that says I want a Lambo. I'm not hating on you, period. I think if you want to buy something, we live in the land of the free. Buy whatever you want. But from a financial perspective, it doesn't make much sense. The reason why is because the amount of money you're giving up if you're paying a substantial amount of money for it. So usually the people who are buying these vehicles already have a business. They already have an income coming in, and that therefore they can afford it. Because that's the only way you should be buying them. You shouldn't be going, okay, I do have a good credit score. I do make $20,000 a month. I can't afford $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month, whatever the number is. That doesn't mean you should do it, because you're actually just throwing money away. Every car depreciates unless it's a limited edition, even those high ends. So even if I bought a $300,000 regular Lambo right now, it's only going to be worth to anybody else like 220, 230. And that's if I only drove it like 2,000 miles this year. If I drove it like 10,000 miles this year, all of a sudden people start freaking out. They'll be like, oh, that's worth 190. All right. So again, where do you want to put your money? It's your money. It's your investments. Do what you want. But it makes it a lot simpler when you have that $5,000, $10,000 a month coming in as an extra stream of income, and you're using that money to pay for it. And then you have some other money sitting away that's invested, making you even more money. That's how you're supposed to do it. And that's why a lot of rich people own these exotic cars, because they have other investments. They have many businesses. They just don't even have one stream of income. They got 10. So that's the difference. Oh, don't even, I see something down here that Moses Tillman is talking about. I saw a flash. Sometimes when you refi, your debt utilization will change and you will alter your score. Minus 30% utilization will drop scores on most people. Crazy how they calculate. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about regarding that. Any refis or something like that, you could actually have that temporary debt from your installment loan removed, which would increase your credit score because it's a complete payoff. Then it's right back on, but the only difference is a plus. That's the only thing I can think of. But I really can't even think of that because that shouldn't have changed anything in reality. Moses Tillman, this is what I saw. I go get one out of Saudi Arabia desert. There you go. There you go. Yeah, go to Dubai, right? Go to Dubai and get all those supercars that people don't want after they got them for year 1, 2. And then they go, well, wait a minute. We can't even drive these anywhere in the desert all the time. What's the next series? What's the next city's over? We're not driving these things in the desert. You know how much this costs when it gets inside the engines? Come on. They found out real fast. So like Moses Tillman says, in case you don't know what this is in reference to, in Saudi Arabia, in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, they have a graveyard of exotics that people actually go there to buy exotics for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that have been sitting there for like 3-4 years in dust storms. And so they bring them back and try to refurbish them because some of those cars, they could be worth over $150,000, $200,000 if they're able to get them up and running. But how much is it going to cost you to get it up and running? That's the question. Wilson Koo, wow. Yeah, rent a Lamborghini and return after your pleasure cruise and photo shoot. Hey, that's the influencer way. That's what all these guys, a lot of people do on YouTube, Instagram, and social media. That's why down in Miami, Atlanta, LA, the leasing Lambos or exotic cars or renting exotic cars is a business. There are so many people that will rent exotic cars for photo shoots. Even, let's face facts, when they're doing videos for artists, musical artists, those are rented vehicles. All right. So that's a big time business in itself. Highly risky as well, because even though it's an exotic car, as soon as you give your exotic car to, it doesn't matter who they are. It could be like a big time superstar. Your car comes back from their rental jacked. So it's high risk. And there may be some people online that actually show you what happens, because there are people who just literally drive the car, leave it at somebody's apartment or somebody's house, tells the rental agency, I left the car there, you can go pick it up. And inside the car is like trash, bottles, drinking, alcohol, weed, all kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know how people do it. I'm like, how are you renting a $200,000 car and get it back trashed? It's crazy. Wilson Cool, that is a great way to see how you'll like it. Exactly. That's what people do as well. They rent them off of Turo. They go down and rent them from a high-end car rental place because they're, it costs $1,200 a day, $800 a day, and depends on which models or more. And so they rent them for a day or two and see if they work, how they work for them, or if you can fit in them. Moses Tillman, they will let me come back home since I'm female. They'll let you come. Their beliefs are not so in favor of women. Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. Incredible, right? Human rights. Definitely. Like I always said, I keep saying it, guys, when you're writing these Bibles, Qurans, and things of this nature, remember who wrote them. If I want to stay top dog, so you think I'm going to say a woman or a child or anybody else is going to be top dog in this book that I'm about to give you? Hell no. I'll never do that. I consider doing a Turo biz, but they do trash these cars, not worth it. Exactly, Vanessa, don't do it. I don't think it's a good model because of that. There's a feature with these rental cars that's not like a feature at a Airbnb type property. The reason what the feature is the same. People will trash somebody else's place, but a car, it seems that people don't care about smashing up somebody's car, the bumpers, the tires, the seats, leaving trash in there, spilling stuff all over the place. Like that's the thing to do. And then return the vehicle going, oh, I don't see nothing wrong. I'm just like, this is crazy. It's crazy. There's people that you can find on social media all over the place who have rented their high-end cars on Turo, Hire Cars, and other car platforms. And you can see all over the place people thrash these vehicles, and it's costing them money, but it's nature of the beast. What can you do about it, right? It's crazy. Yeah, I never could see giving any vehicle of any substance to let people just jack around with. And especially when a person is renting a car from you, which is the equivalent or more than what it would cost if they just went down and bought the car on paper. That's what I don't get. Somebody's going to pay somebody $600, $1,000 a week. Then that means to me, you could have just went down and bought a car if you're going to be spending that kind of money. But instead, they're not. That means it raises red flags to me. I'm like, that means you're going to trash my place. That's what that means to me. So, and that also comes with some of our real estate that people are leery about is what do I do if somebody messes up my place? And that's why on these platforms like Airbnb, Vacation Rental, VRBO, that's why they have insurance. And you have to double check and triple check. And that's why I had a little bit different way of renting, and which I went through condo hotels, because people have to check in at the front desk. And they have to give them their credit card on file like a deposit. So now they know it's like normal. There's no playing. You jack up the place, they're jacking up your credit card. So that alleviates people from doing stupid stuff. So that's why I like it. So that's why it's going to be very interesting when I have condos in the open market, so to speak, where they're not checking in at a hotel, but I might have my own services check them and still do a deposit of some sort. So I'm pretty sure by the time my place is built, I'm probably going to do that anyhow, because that model works for me so good, where people actually are having deposits or down, and then, we don't have a problem. Or on Airbnb, you can actually write in a deposit as well. You can add. So if I rent out something for a week and it's $2,000 for the week, I can add on like $1,000 deposit. And then depending on how places return to me, then I can return their $1,000 deposit. So you get a win both ways. I don't know if you can do that on Turo, but all I do know is a lot of people get back their vehicles jacked up on no matter what rental car platform it is. It's just crazy. Yes, the care of car worries me with Turo. Exactly. It's just bad news. Bad news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're an hour and 23 minutes in, and we started off a discussion with does age matter? And apparently a lot of people agree age does not matter. It just makes you wiser. And then that means you're going to make different choices. And now you can start if you're 40, 50, 60, 70. It does not matter, even 80. You can start something if you want to. So that is now in stone. Everybody agrees, I'm pretty sure. Is there anybody here that doesn't agree? If you think that there's a certain number that you won't be able to do whatever you want to do or start a business or start whatever you want to do. All right. Let me know if you think that way. That's a good point, boss, with the condos. It's great to have your guests check in. Less worry. That's exactly right. That's a major point for me. But like I said, on the Airbnb platform, you can actually add in additional costs. You can add in that I want 500 deposit, and then after you leave and everything's fine, I'll return that 500. So there's ways. That's what I like about the Airbnb platform. I'm pretty sure the cars might have that platform as well, but you know how that's going to work. How that works is people will rent. Let's say there's two cars the same, and the rental rate is the same. One says, I want a deposit. The other one says, no deposit. They'll rent the other one first, especially the ones that have ill intent, right? Same thing could happen at a Airbnb. I've had people contact me on VRBO, Airbnb, and say, hey, can I just pay you the deposit? Because I tell everybody you have to check in at the front desk like a normal hotel after 4 p.m. Checkout's 10 a.m. Just like a normal hotel. Room key goes dark. You're not going to be able to go back in the room after 10 a.m. And so I have that in my listing. So then people message me saying, hey, can I just give you the extra deposit money? And right then and there, I'm like, no. And that's like a hell no. I don't even want to hold it, even though on the Airbnb platform, I could have done that, but I like it a lot better where they're actually there and at the front desk and checking in, because that's more formal to me. So either way, though, if they're going to pay that extra 500 to 1,000, I'm good with that too, which is what I'm going to do with the new condos, which now come to think of it, because I'll add, mine's not going to be 500. I can tell you that. It's going to be like $1,000. I'm going to have pretty high restrictions. Because, like I said, mine's going to be the penthouse. They're going to be dressed down. Jeff Bezos went to space on Tuesday. Do you think OCs can go in 10 years? OCs are going to be going with Richard Branson for $250K in about, 8 months to a year. He's got people already lined up $250K just to go on that atmosphere run. Weightlessness run. That's all they're doing. If you're talking about going into space, like going to a planet, that's another issue. But I don't think anybody's going to a planet anytime soon, even in 10 years. Which begs the question, if we went to space in the 60s, to the moon, did we really? Because how is it 50 some years later, you just can't roll up to the moon? That simple. I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, believe me, I'm not really, but I have to ask myself sometimes. I'm like, wait, how is it that these guys can barely go out of the atmosphere and all this kind of stuff when 50 plus years ago, we supposedly went out? And supposedly there was only 1 megabyte of power space on a computer, which was on the chips of these spaceships, somehow guided these this archaic stuff now by our standards to the moon and back. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Jeff Bezos went to space on Tuesday. Yeah, we already did that one. Yeah, I think OCs are definitely going with Branson in the next 8 months to a year, just to weightlessness. And then I don't know what space they mean. I don't know. What are they talking about? They're going to go up to a space station or something? Because they're not talking about going to the moon, other than Elon's talking about going to Mars. But even then, what are you going to do on Mars? You're taking people to Mars? That's crazy. But you guys see what's happening. The billionaires are trying to make that plan. They're trying to leave the planet. They're trying to do off-planet on us, ladies and gentlemen. They're gearing up. There's 3 separate ones. They didn't join together. 3 separate individual billionaires have said, I'm trying to do this. And so I'm like, okay, how come you guys just didn't join together then? They're all like, no. So I'm like, you guys are actually trying to leave us with your friends. I can't blame them. Got some climate changes going. Eric, it's kind of strange. Makes you say, yeah, Charlie, exactly. 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 It makes you go, wait a minute. Hold on now. I remember when 1 gigabyte was a room full of computers standing like 8 feet tall by about 5, 6 feet wide. And they had 20 of those damn things in a room with tape. And it was only 1 gigabyte. I mean, I'm like, wait, you guys. And so now that we have all this memory, all this artificial intelligence, all this stuff, these guys just can't roll out to any planet with ease. Come on. Come on now. It makes you wonder. Nor have they put anything on the moon either that's of any substance. Because in theory, let's say you were serious about space flight. Let's just say, right? You're a space flight geek. You're like, yeah, man, they went to the moon. So why wouldn't you put a substation on the moon? Which now means you're already in space, which already means you're weightless. So now if you're in space, wouldn't it make sense that I can get from the moon to other, let's say I'm going to Mars. I just got a whole lot closer. And I don't have to get off of Earth using the booster rockets. Think about it. Think about it. It doesn't make much sense. Yeah, I mean weightless travel. Yeah, exactly. That's all they're doing. They're not, when they were going into space, I thought they were going into space. Then I find out they were like, oh, we were just up here 60 miles above Earth and we were weightless and we turned around and came back. I was like, wait, that's not, okay, is that considered space? I'm confused. All right, so 200K today and 5 years, 100K and 10K is 50K per ticket. There you go. I'll go with that. That's the way I look at it. Eric, you can offer full service as an option package. Includes picking them up at Punta Cana Airport, taking them to your condo, briefing them on your minutes. Yes, Victor Marrero. I agree. That's exactly what's happening. We had this discussion before. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. You're gonna do the same thing as well. We're gonna have our own in-house. We're gonna have our own person to come pick them up, drop them off. That same person can take them to the grocery store before you even come to the condo. So that way you get from the airport, you go directly to the grocery store, get some groceries, then drop off at the condo. Now you're at our disposal. And from that point on, the first thing is free. But now if you want to go somewhere, you're going to have to pay $20, $25 each way. Make it fair, worth the person's time. And so now they have a direct line where they can actually call somebody and just say, hey, can you come get us? What's that worth to people, right? And then, of course, other amenities, like we discussed before. You got to have that welcome pack, ladies and gentlemen, right? That gift basket's got to be there. You got to have that in the table. You got to have some snacks in the gift basket and some other goodies in the gift basket. Got to have some stock in the refrigerator, such as maybe just waters and soda or juice or whatever, or water. Doesn't have to be anything major. People, when they come on vacation, they appreciate any little extra detail. You got to have that in there. And then, of course, it helps when you have a nice little list there so people know where everything is and have a map of the place, like in Marrero's place at Cana Rock. It would be cool if they know when they just get there, they can look at something and it'll say like 1 mile to here or 100 yards to there, whatever. Because that's what I'm going to be doing on the desk, on the counter. It's just going to say, okay, here's some amenities that you have access to right here. And then I'll put amenities that you have access to and where they are. So all these little things add up where people feel a lot more comfortable. They appreciate what you're doing. And that is also, do you want 5-star service or 3-star service? If you want to give people 5-star service, then you can charge 5-star prices. Right? That's how it works. The Mars or Martian movie with Matt Damon was interesting. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Don Cheadle had almost the exact same movie, which was weird. Yes, great amenities and customer service is key. That's it exactly. That's how you have to roll. That's why it's always good. Again, I'll keep saying this over and over for the next year or two. Location, location, location with real estate. And number 2 is amenities, amenities, amenities. That's it. I don't care what anybody tells me. because I'm going to tell you like it is. If somebody tells me location, location, location is the beach, and then at the beach, the only thing a person can do is at the beach, a pool, and a restaurant bar, that's all they have. And then somebody else goes, okay, I'm not at the beach, but I have, and they list like a golf course. I have 4 restaurants. I have 4 pools. I have horseback riding. I have fitness center. I have you start listing all this stuff. Now people are like, well, wait a minute. Why am I going to stay at the beach? I can go to the beach, but I can't do all this other stuff while I'm at the beach. So I might as well stay at this other place. So the values are both. Some people will still stay at the beach, pay higher. Other people will stay at these places that have more amenities. And for me, renting for so many years, more amenities usually wins out. People easily change their beach view when they're going, wait, there's 10, well, not 10, but there's like 5 amenities where the beach property only has 1 or 2, which is usually a pool, a restaurant, bar on site, and a fitness center. That's generally the rules that most beach locations have. So that's how you do it. Hey, Eric, Andreen Miller's in the house with the icon. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. Hi, Eric and the SSN Academy. I love it. SSN Academy. She's in the house. Andreen Miller, thank you so much for being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. And once we're in 1 hour, 35 minutes, and we're almost going to end the live stream tonight, but I want to thank you for being here. So if you have any further questions or any discussions you want to talk about, please do it now. Otherwise, please, if you haven't already, smash that like button. All right. Got to get a little bit more water. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel and smash that notification bell. So then this way you can get notifications, hopefully. And please share the videos. I got to say, share the videos. All right. Another video is coming out. I might, in fact, what time is it? No, it's too late. Well, I might drop another video after this, after the live stream. The next video that I'm going to drop is a wealth inequality video that was made by a college and academics, and they started going over what causes the wealth gap in America. All right, this video is available in a lot of places, but I decided to make a special video myself with wealth inequality. And I'm going to drop it I should probably drop it tonight. I don't know. I might drop it in the morning, but either way, it's going to be coming out. And all I wanted to do was set this up it's from 2011, 2012. So now you can fast forward and you'll see that nothing has changed from when they did this study and when they did this video. All right. So you guys are going to have to check that out. Andreen Miller, welcome. Tiffany Young is in the house with the icon next to her name. Hey, everyone. I guess she's spitting mother, but I do feel like I am way behind the 8 ball at the age of 41. Tiffany Young, you're not way behind. All right. Just keep that in mind. The only reason you feel that way is maybe your learning curve is a lot more than other people, but there are some people that are even behind you. And let's call it this way. A large percentage of the population is well behind you. Okay. A lot of people have no clue, especially when you consider the number that I always mention. 70% of the population in America does not have $1,000 in the bank account. So see, you're not that far behind anybody. Just think about that. That's 200 million people out of 300 million people. All right. Of 350 million people. Think about it. All right. So you're not that far behind. At least you're here. At least hopefully you have that pen, pad, and pencil ready, and you're learning something every time we have a live stream or when I drop a video. So any of that information helps you out. So you're not behind. Don't feel that way. All you have to do is just say, okay, for the previous, let's say 41 years, I didn't do anything. Now, 41 and on, I can do something. I can make moves. That's all you have to do, because you have a lifetime. If you get to live another 20 years, you're going to only be 60 at that point. That's a lifetime. All right. Just keep that in mind. So don't feel so bad. No reason to feel bad. Do you think NVIDIA will get 250 per share soon? Yes, I do. I'm hoping it does what stocks do, that it stays at this 195 to 180 range. I'm hoping it gets down to 185 again. That's my buy point. If it goes up to 195 or 200, I'll bite the bullet and buy there. But the point is, yes, I think it'll get to 250 in 6 months. I do. I meant age doesn't matter. That's right, Tiffany. It does not matter. You got that right. And anybody who thinks they are behind and felt that way, you should not. You can learn at any time. You just like we're learning now. Every day you can learn something new, and that will change your outcome for the rest of your life. The wealth gap starts because education and wealth at 18. Exactly. Eric, will there be a fourth stimulus? Yes, there will be a fourth stimulus. All right. Count on it. So there's already infrastructure bills coming, but that infrastructure bill has some other things tied to it that's going to be stimulus wise. So in other words, they already did the tax credit for kids is going to happen. So you might not call that a stimulus. I really don't either, but there will be another stimulus bill. The only thing changes a person wealth projection, our people associate with, and the new trade skills they learn. That's exactly right. Mr. Financial says again, Tiffany, it's never too late. I'm in my 50s, love. Exactly, Vanessa Comegate. Never too late. Again, even if you're in your 50s, another lifetime means 70, 60, 65, 70, 75. That's another 20 years. That's a long time when you really start thinking about it. 10 years is even a long time. 5 years is a long time when you really think about it. Driven Fortitude. Welcome to the Wednesday night live stream. I'm happy to see you here once again. And with the icon next to his name, I'm 43 and trying to learn as much as possible. Exactly, Driven Fortitude. Exactly. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're willing to learn, because everybody who's willing to learn and humble enough to learn and willing to accept that they don't know it all, they're the ones that are able to move ahead and able to make plans and able to say, you know what, I can do this investment now, and I understand what I'm doing from the time I'm 43, let's say, to the time I'm 63. Anybody who's in their 40s right now, even if you're saying I'm going to collect X amount of dollars under Social Security, you may not be collecting X amount of dollars when you're 69 years old. Or if you're going to live to 69 years old is another thing too, right? So even if you're like 43 right now, to get to 70 is 27 years from now. And who knows what's going to be happening 27 years from now. And now that the retirement age is going to be 67, 68, 69 for anybody in like their 50s and 60s. I don't know about the 40s, but you can't even pull SSI until you're 67, 68, or 69. All right. So that's insane to me, where it used to be 60. So a lot more people are living longer, and the Ponzi scheme of the Social Security, which is what Social Security is, it's a Ponzi scheme. Other new people who are working pay in to pay all the older people that are still alive their Social Security. That's what it is. And so there's a problem if less workers are available, such as the baby boomers at the time had the most amount of people at that turned into having received Social Security. That also meant the lesser age people, there weren't enough people to fund it. So that's literally what happened. Now there's another group that came up that equals the baby boomer numbers. And I don't know what generation they call it, but that also is now, I think they're millennials or they're something else, but there's another group that has just as many people in that group as the baby boomers. So now you have somebody that can fund the Social Security, but keep in mind, people are living longer. Some people are like 90 years old now. The average age used to be 78, 77 years old. Now, who knows what it's going to be, because people are thinking about foods differently. They're thinking about processed food versus unprocessed food, natural food versus no pesticide foods. All that stuff changes how long a person's going to live and what ailments you're going to have. So therefore, you never know what's going to happen. Somebody 43 right now could easily live to be 93, easily live to be 83. That's 40 years, 40 plus 40. 40 years is 2 more lifetimes. That's incredible when you think about it. All right. Hi, family. Driven Fortitude. Once again, thank you so much for being here on the icon next to his name. Tiffany Young. Oh, my goodness. Tiffany Young has done it. I did reserve a 1-bedroom in DR, but it's in Unique, which is all that I felt like I could take on as far as the monthly payment is concerned. I just wanted to get something. Tiffany Young, congratulations. Welcome to the Vistacana family. This is awesome. This is awesome. Okay. Here's what she's talking about. Let's go. She bought a 1-bedroom. Let me go see if I can pull up Unique real quick. Unique at, I'm going to go Vistacana. I don't think they have a website though. I don't think they have their own website. It just came out. But here we go. Let's pull it up on the screen. This is nothing but excitement. I like to hear this. Another member. Now we're surely at 25. I know we're at 23, 24. So I'm just going to claim, I'll just go to 25 members of Stop Struggling Now Nation have bought in Vistacana. Unique started I believe the 1-bedrooms were $99,000 if I'm not mistaken. But this says 2 or 3 bedrooms, but I'm pretty sure they have 1-bedrooms. They were $99,000. So if you guys can see the screen, let me see if I can get this out here in separate. Okay, so this has an interesting master plan on them. So hopefully, yeah, you guys can see this. This is interesting here. That looks like an outdoor fitness area. Not mad at you. Look at this. All right, upstairs, downstairs. These must be 2 bedrooms. These are artist renderings. Keep that in mind. I don't know what the delivery date is, but here's the map. Here's the plan. This, let me know, Tiffany, if you have the master plan for where Unique is. Unique is across from the sports complex. And that's all they're going to show here. The sports complex has softball fields, baseball fields, soccer fields, basketball courts, pool, tennis courts, and there's probably something else there as well. That's across the street from it. So they have a lobby. That's nice too. So that's Airbnb friendly. I like that. So this is Unique. And let me see. I can't remember where I saw the Unique in the first place. There was something that I was looking at that showed Unique before. Let's see if we can try this one. So let us know more. What payment plan did they have to come up with, or when did they talk about completing Unique? Are they talking about completing it in 2 years, or? Because here we go. Oh, 2023. So you got 24 payments. Oh, here's what we were talking about the other day, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys can see this, this is what happened. This is what I was talking about the other day. It's $1,000 down to reserve, and instead of 10%, they want 15%. So in theory, if a 1-bedroom costs $69,000 or $99,000, I don't know, but you have to give them 15%, and then you're going to pay 35% during construction. So now they're going to be Unique is going to be 50% loan to value. By the time they finish this project, your loan to value is going to be a lot lower than 50%. It'll probably be 40% minimum, probably be in the 30s. So this is why it's going to cost more now to pay during construction, but you still have 0%. So let's keep it to $99,000. So what they're saying is $35,000, and you can see why there would be a problem. You divide that by 24, and so you're going to be paying $1,200 or $1,300 a month if you buy a $99,000 condo at Unique, versus other locations that did not require 35, but they only required 20%. 20% would be a big difference. 20,000 and then divide by 24 or 28, your payments are like $700 a month. So that kind of goes there. But anyhow, oh wait, let's go look at it again. Let's pull up some pictures, can we? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Very nice. This says Campo de Golf. That's interesting. they have, this is a different one, I think. This is unique. I believe this is unique right here. This is interesting. All right. Very nice. We saw this on, what was it, Friday Night Live? We had a preview on this. I like the fact they have solar panels. I love that. Yeah, this is unique. That's what I thought. There you go. They have their own little check-in spot. Airbnb friendly. The only thing about my panorama, we don't have a lobby, as far as I know. Nice little complex. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have another person that's entered into the Vistacana arena. It's almost like who's next? It's almost like who's next? Jeez. Hi, fam. Okay. I did reserve. Right on. Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate that. Tiffany Young, let me know if hopefully if you reserve, you haven't signed your contract yet, right? So you're going to need well, you don't have to, but I'm just saying you should have an attorney or somebody that you trust go over the contract. And also they'll carry it through to the deed process. Thanks, Vanessa. Appreciate that. All right. With stem cell, people will be living here until 100. I began riding a bike. There you go, Charlie. That's exactly what's happening. People understand their physical health a lot better than they did even 20 years ago and understand what it takes, and more people are active. Now it's known the more active you are, probably the better health you will be. It's easier to see at 40s from life experience that you must change. In 10 years, the world will change. In 20 years, the world has really changed. But you cannot keep your head in the sand. That's it exactly, Curtis Davis, Mr. Financial, saying it. Everything changes. So you got to be prepared for those changes. That's what we do around here. At over 41. Charlie, did you get stem cell? I was considering it. Yeah, that's cool. At Tiffany. Partying. The computer and internet has been the great equalizer, but all people must stop and take time to learn, retrain. This goes 20s, 40s, 60s. That's right. 70s, 80s, the same thing. Can't sit still. Congrats, Tiffany. Yeah, I have conversations with my dad about different ways to do investment in real estate. And he just sits there and is like, oh, God, I didn't know you could do all this stuff. I was like, yeah, because he just basically had bought homes. He kept the homes. Then he rented them out. That standard issue. That's what everybody does. So, but he's at an older age. So now I told him, I said, how come you're holding on to these homes? They're getting older. They're going to need maintenance. They're going to need repair. Is it really worth selling the house for an extra 10 when a $20,000, $15,000, $10,000 repair comes along, right? Roofs only last so long. ACs and electrical systems stay well so long. Plumbing stays good so long. And one of the properties acts as a septic system, believe it or not. So I was like, okay, look, if that septic system goes, that's 15 to 20 grand. I was like, so why not just sell the house now? And if you have to, you can't get top dollar, but so what if you get 5, 10 or 15,000 less? It's going to come up anyhow if you keep holding on to this thing. And it has a basement, and the basement, a lot of basements leak. And in fact, he already had a leak before. So I was like, okay, it's just a matter of time. The house has been sitting there for over 40 years. So I was just like, why don't you just sell it? Who cares if they want to give you 20,000 less? You should just take it. You got the house damn near free and clear anyhow. Like, it was crazy. Not yet. I am, though. I became a vegan. Right on. Eric and Victor, thanks for your inspiration. Tiffany Young, no problem. Thank you for being here. And once again, this is also a risk. Thank you for taking that risk. And thank you for being here and sharing with us, because not everybody wants to invest or see a reason to invest, whether it's in Punta Cana or DR, or whether it's in the United States of America or any other country. Most people don't feel like they should invest at all. So the thing is, you're taking a risk. So let us know. Oh, she got so it was $69,000 for a 1 bedroom. That's cool. Let me go look at this again. That's pretty cool. So, okay, so 70,000, and then you have to put 35 or pay 35% of 70. That's 21, let's call it, right? I'll just do the math. 69.99 times 35%. 24. And then there's September, so we're July, August, September. So you're going to have 1,000 a month. You're going to be around 1,000 a month before you start, probably. 24 payments instead of 26. So yeah, that's fine. That's a good deal. Get in where you can fit in. That's how it works. You made the first move, and welcome to the Vistacana family. So now the question is, how big is a one bedroom? Because the towers at Vistacana is 53 square meters. And usually one bedrooms are around that range, somewhere between 46 and 53 normally in Vistacana. Yeah, this looks like it's a little under 53. This one looks like a 40. The way this is designed, it looks like a 48 square meters, because if it was 53, the kitchen would probably be configured a little differently. But they have a walk-in closet, it looks like. So maybe it is 50. Okay, this must be that must be a two-bedroom we just saw. That's definitely a two-bedroom upstairs. That has to be a two-bedroom. So, all right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a new member of the Stop Struggling Now Nation making an investment in their future. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Have to love that. I do. Great job, Tiffany. Great job. That's great, Charlie. I looked into some stem cell place last week. I'm definitely going to get it. Thanks. Yeah, that's a thing. Vanessa Comagate, not yet. I'm going to, though. I'm a vegetarian. I only drink water from the Alps. There we go. From the Alps. Tiffany Young, awesome. Congratulations. Enjoy the crazy increase in value after each phase. Just make sure you lock the price. That's right. Exactly. Vanessa Comagate, thanks. Victor, thanks. And yes, will do. Charlie, how do you feel about alkaline water? Anything over a 9 pH is good. Vanessa Comagate, they say it's good for you. That's right. She's right. pH balance, you guys, just so in case you want to get into the waters and things like that. The reason why alkalinity matters, if you're below and the other way, you're under like 7, your body is bad. Okay? So your pH balance matters. So when you see water that says a pH of like 9 or 8.59, you should try to drink that water. That helps you more. All right. Not too sure about it. Charlie, yeah, I'm you guys don't know. I'm into a little health situations, so I kind of know about that. Okay, thanks. Yeah, make sure you guys stay alkaline. You want to make sure their pH balance is anything that you can get your hands on with the pH balance over 8.5. Get it, take it. As long as it's natural, of course. Tiffany, congrats on new condo. Tiffany, congrats. Everybody's congratulating Tiffany, becoming a new owner, becoming a new emerging millionaire. Yes, I will need an attorney, so I will mail you for the info. Ask Johan Confidante. He'll be needing a phone call. That's right. He's the man. Tiffany Young, are you planning to fly to Punta Cana anytime soon? There we go. I need to plan a trip, but there. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Just saw your message. Thank you, Moses Tillman. Eric, have you seen the AC you can wear around your neck? Mine's on the way. Charlie, I have heard about it. I've heard about it. Somebody, my dad's wife was telling me about it just the other day. I was like, I haven't seen none of that. She's like, yeah, it goes around your neck and has some sort of fans. That's what she described it. I was like, that's weird, but we'll see what it is. But that's very interesting. Apparently people are ordering it, including yourself, Charlie. That's something. The game of real estate, patience and know when to exit. That's it exactly. Did you know Punta Cana and DR leadership are considering a USA proposal to allow citizens to do pre-screening for customs? This will allow us to land in the U.S. just like a U.S. domestic flight. Victor Marrero. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Making it like the EU. You know what's funny? I always was saying, like, why are the Caribbean islands and all the islands in the Caribbean acting like separate countries? Why don't these guys just make it like an EU situation where citizens from certain countries can just land in on the island? I'm like, this is awesome. I'm glad to hear this. This would be a game changer. And the fact that they're discussing it, it may happen. That would be sweet. That would be sweet. I did not know about it, but this is great news. I mean, whoever, Abinator, this guy, the president, their tourism division, these guys are on a mission. They said, we don't care about that record of 6.5 million visitors. We want to make it double that number. How do you double that number? You do things like this. Man, this is crazy. That would be even, you guys, that would be even more impressive. And that would also increase our property values. Boss, I talked to Johan the other day. Do I get the Cana Rock referral from you guys? You get it from Victor Marrero. Now, Victor Marrero, do you get referrals? But if you, if you're going to go to Cana Rock, then go with Victor Marrero. Victor Marrero, you need some contact information. So you better send me. I have Vanessa Gates. I'll look and see if I have Victor Marrero's email address. If I don't, Victor Marrero, send me an email to Eric or support at Stop Struggling Now. Then I'll forward your information to Vanessa so then you can give her your referral. I'm pretty sure they have a referral situation in Cana Rock. All right. So I'm pretty sure they do. In life, you need to measure your assets to debts or net worth. Exactly. Exactly. I believe there are just a few countries in the world. Saudi Arabia is one of them. That's right. That's exactly right. There's only a few. But these guys are so close that this would be a game changer. So I can go to DR now with passport. What would be different with new rule? No passport? No, you would still need your passport. But when they see your from coming in from the United States, you just roll in to a separate section. So you don't have to go through the you don't have to go through any of the what do you call? I can't even remember what you call it now. But anyhow, you don't have to go through security check when you land into the country. You can just go to another section where you're already in and out. You just show your passport, US. They check you, your luggage, whatever, anything you're bringing in, and you're gone. You don't have to sign that. You're going to have to sign that one paper that says where you're going to be or where you're hanging out so you're trackable. But that's about it. Yes, I want a Cana Rock one bed for sure. All right. Right on, Vanessa. Well, that's cool. Well, you can go a couple of ways. Victor Marrero, hit me up. Let me know if you have that Cana Rock referral. And if not, if a referral isn't a thing, then obviously I'll hook you up with Andrea Rodriguez to hook you up with the Cana Rock, because she does the Cana Rock, especially the one bedrooms at Universe, Cana Rock Universe. And there's also Cana Rock condos that have the one bedrooms. And the Cana Rock Galaxies, well, those are 300 and some thousand at the Galaxy. So, but I would go with the ones that are, unless the Galaxy has a reason for the 300 and something, I don't know. But the other ones come fully furnished at the Universe and at the Cana Rock condos. Plus, you might like the Stellar condo, one bedroom. Cana Rock has several of their units have one bedrooms, and they're all like under 120,000, except for a Galaxy, which is 300 and some thousand now, which is incredible. So yeah, that's impressive. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're 2 hours in. We got to wrap this up now. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And once again, please smash the like button so the YouTube algorithm knows we're in the house. And I want to thank you all for being here once again. Right. That's pretty much it. Let me check that. I think they do have a referral. I'll contact them tomorrow and get back to you through Eric. When do you plan on going? Eric, it'll be all about the sections. That's right. Said exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know, and you know, it's hard out here. Nothing is a given, but age doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to do something, there's people that graduate from college at 70, 80 years old because they said, you know what, I want to go do something still. So why not you? Don't sit back. Don't rest on your laurels. The world is always changing, like Mr. Financial has mentioned. So therefore, you have to adapt and change as well. And you have to always learn something new. So don't be shy and don't think you're being left behind, especially when you're out here studying. You can never be left behind. If you're in search for the truth, then everything becomes a little bit easier. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.